In one of my recent videos that you can check out by clicking on the card up here, I shared what I believe to be #1 tool to keep track of your crypto holdings and simplify your yearly income tax declarations for those among you that live in countries that require you to report your crypto holdings and transactions. Well, and today we are breaking down another crucial topic for anyone interested or already involved in cryptocurrencies, and that topic is crypto wallets. But before we jump into that and discuss the different types of wallets, how to keep them secure and which ones I'm personally using, let's get the usual disclaimer out of the way. Everything I share in this video is my personal opinion and in no way financial or professional advice of any kind. You should always do your own research, consult certified professionals, draw your own conclusions and make your own decisions. My name is Rauchenwald, and in this video we are going to take a look at crypto wallets. Everything you need to know about them, which wallets I am using and how I'm keeping them secure. To make sure that this video is suitable for beginners and people that already have some experience alike, we are going to start with some fundamentals. So if you are confident that you already know things explained in a specific section of this video, feel free to use the chapters down below to jump directly to the next section. Last but not least, before we finally get to dive into the topic, here's your reminder to like, subscribe and enable notifications so you don't miss out on future videos. And besides that, don't forget to share this video with your friends so they also learn some of the best practices out there to keep their crypto holdings secure. Now with all that out of the way, let's get started with the fundamentals. What are crypto wallets? In simple terms, a crypto wallet is a tool that lets you store, send and receive cryptocurrencies, but more importantly, it holds your private keys, the secret codes that give you access to your crypto holdings. However, there is more to different wallets than just the private key that is used to authorize transactions on a specific blockchain address. First, most wallets will not directly show you one private key when you initially set them up, but instead they will show you a so-called seed phrase, also known as mnemonic phrase, passphrase or recovery phrase. That seed phrase usually consists of 12, 18 or 24 unique words that come from a predetermined list of words and give you access to your wallet. The seed phrase is then used to create one or more private and public key pairs, and the public key in turn is then used to generate your wallet address. Since one is derived from the other, you can restore your wallet address and public key as long as you still have your private key, and your private key as long as you still have your seed phrase. You cannot, however, restore things the other way around. It is impossible to restore your seed phrase if all you have left is a private key that was derived from that seed phrase, and you cannot recover your private key if all you have left is your public key or wallet address. As a result, if you lose your seed phrase, or in cases where you only receive the private key and no seed phrase, if you lose that private key for a specific wallet, you lose access to any crypto held in that wallet forever. That is why it's important to store them securely to make sure your crypto journey does not turn into one more newspaper story. Before we cover the different ways of ensuring that your seed phrases and private keys are indeed secure, we still have to cover the two main types of crypto wallets, hot and cold wallets. Hot wallets are wallets on devices that are connected to the internet. A few examples of hot wallets are MetaMask, Gada Wallet, Exodus, Rebby, the Pi wallet in your Pi browser, and those are usually free and are available as either browser extensions, standalone applications and or mobile apps. Hot wallets are super convenient for frequent transactions, but they are also more vulnerable to hacks since the seed phrase and or private keys are either stored or at least were generated on a device that is connected to the internet. Cold wallets, on the other hand, are in quotes offline. They are not directly connected to the internet, and your seed phrase and private key is therefore also not stored on a device that's directly connected to the internet. As a result, cold wallets are safer for long-term storage but a bit less convenient for day-to-day use. Unlike hot wallets, most cold wallets are not available for free and as such only make sense if you already hold or at least plan to hold a for you significant amount in crypto. Cold wallets like the Ledger Nano X that I'm using offer their own applications but also integrate with hot wallets like MetaMask or Rabbi. In this case, private keys are only stored on the cold wallet, and every transaction you initiate in the hot wallet still has to be confirmed on the cold wallet that is connected via USB or Bluetooth. Besides cold and hot wallets, you could obviously also store your crypto on a centralized exchange like, for example, Coinbase, Crypto.com or Binance. In that case, however, it is important to understand that when you store your crypto on a centralized exchange, it is not stored in a wallet you control, but in a wallet the exchange controls. Since you don't know the private keys to that wallet, you do not directly have access to that crypto, and should the exchange lock your account, get shut down or get hacked, you also might lose access to your crypto forever. Exchanges should therefore only contain crypto that you plan to trade with in the immediate future or that you plan to sell there. If you don't need your crypto on an exchange for trading, it is much safer to instead hold it in your own, ideally cold wallet. Now, I understand that exchanges might offer incentives like paying you interest on the crypto you hold at the exchange, but you'll always have to consider the risk of losing your crypto before you get tempted by a few percent in interest or similar offers. Besides those centralized exchanges, there are also decentralized exchanges like, for example, PancakeSwap or Uniswap, to name just two of them, that require you to connect your wallet to use them and allow you to exchange crypto you hold in your own wallet into different cryptocurrencies. Unlike centralized exchanges, there is no deposit required and your crypto only leaves your wallet when you initialize a transaction, making decentralized exchanges a more secure alternative to centralized exchanges. Considering all of that from a security perspective, you should therefore ideally store your crypto in a cold wallet, and then whenever you want to exchange it into another crypto, use a decentralized exchange, and only if you want to exchange your crypto for fiat currencies like US dollar or euro, or if there's no decentralized exchange available for the specific cryptocurrency you're trying to convert, transfer it to a centralized exchange that offers a so-called off-ramp to not only exchange your crypto for fiat, but also then withdraw it to, for example, your bank account. Last but not least, it is also important to know that just like not every exchange supports every cryptocurrency on the market, different wallets also only support specific blockchains and can therefore only be used to manage coins and tokens that operate on one of the blockchains the wallet supports. With that in mind, let's take a look at the different hot and cold wallets I'm using that, by the way, are all linked in the video description down below as well. Over the years, I've used many different hot wallets, starting with Exodus, Gada Wallet and MetaMask, until I eventually discovered Rabbi. I like Rabbi because it is open source, undergoes yearly audits, offers the, in my opinion, cleanest user interface with a lot of extra functionality, integrates well with my Ledger Nano X cold wallet, and offers clients for Mac, Windows, Android, iOS, as well as browser extensions for Chrome and Firefox. Besides that, it also offers an integrated swap and bridge feature for many of the blockchains it supports, that allow you to swap one crypto into another on the same blockchain, or into the same or another crypto on a different blockchain directly within the wallet without the need to manually interact with a decentralized exchange. The integrated swap and bridge features automatically compare rates on different decentralized exchanges and ensure that you get the best rate, at least among all the exchanges Rabbi considers. That still leaves the possibility that another exchange might offer you lower fees for those conversions, but in my experience so far, the rates offered are usually good enough to save myself the time of comparing several exchanges myself. And while Rabbi is a great wallet, as I mentioned earlier, since each wallet only works for coins and tokens on blockchains the wallet itself supports, you're most likely going to need additional wallets as well. In those cases, it is often best to check which wallet the community of that specific coin or token recommends. For the purpose of this video, we can, however, move on and look at the cold wallet I am using and that I can recommend without restrictions. When it comes to cold wallets, my go-to is the Ledger Nano X. This hardware wallet is perfect for securely storing your cryptocurrencies, and what I love about this is that it also works with Rabbi Wallet. This way I can view my balances and transaction history also when the Ledger Nano X is turned off, without having to start Ledger's own wallet application called Ledger Live, and am able to interact with decentralized exchanges and make transactions through the Rabbi wallet user interface I'm used to without compromising security, since again, as mentioned, all transactions have to be confirmed on the hardware wallet itself, and the private keys and seed phrase of the hardware wallet never leave the hardware wallet. Just like with hot wallets, it's worth mentioning that each hardware wallet also in quotes only works with specific blockchains, and the coins and tokens on those change. It is therefore possible that, especially for new projects that also come with their own blockchain, your cold wallet won't work, at least until the team behind the cryptocurrency or the team behind the cold wallet adds support for that new chain as well. So while I personally love my Ledger Nano X, it is possible that a hardware wallet from another manufacturer might be the better choice for you if it supports a blockchain you need that Ledger doesn't work with right now. That said, let's talk about securing your seed phrase, which is sadly something many people, in my opinion, don't pay enough attention to. As mentioned earlier, your seed phrase is the master key to your crypto wallet, meaning that if someone gets their hands on it, they have access to all your funds. That's why it is important to keep it secure, under no circumstances share it with anybody else, and be very careful about where you enter it in the first place. Since knowing your seed phrase grants attackers complete access to your wallet, there are many scammers out there that try to get you to enter it on fake websites that often look identical to official services. Those websites often work in combination with phishing email campaigns or social engineering efforts, where someone would tell you that, for example, to secure or verify your wallet, you have to visit a specific website, and that site would then ask you for your seed phrase. Considering the sheer amount of fake and scam websites out there, it is impossible to cover all of them in this video. That's why, again, the core point to remember is to never share your seed phrase with anyone. That said, it is equally important to store your seed phrase securely. That means that under no circumstances should your seed phrase be stored in a simple plain text note or document on your phone or computer, or as a screenshot. Ideally, you would get yourself something like the Keystone tablet to more or less store your seed phrase engraved on metal that you could then, in an ideal world, store, for example, in a bank deposit box, so that even if someone breaks into your home, they won't be able to gain access to your crypto wallets. Alternatively, you can write down your seed phrase on paper and store that piece of paper in your own safe, but you would need to check and ensure from time to time that the ink hasn't faded or the paper didn't suffer some other kind of damages to not lose access to your seed phrase yourself. Since those methods are quite cumbersome, or for some people not an option because they do not have access to a secure deposit box at their bank and they do not own a safe, the next best option, in my opinion, is to store your seed phrase within a secure password manager like, for example, 1Password. In that case, you want to make sure that you use a different email address for your 1Password account in combination with a very secure password that you won't forget. Since 1Password additionally requires a so-called secret key to access your stored passwords, and that secret key only gets displayed once during the account creation process in the form of a downloadable PDF, it is next to impossible for anyone to guess your credentials. Of course, you then have to print that PDF and store it securely as well. However, since that PDF containing the secret key is useless without also knowing your email address and password, even a break-in wouldn't put your crypto at risk, whereas if you keep a piece of paper with your seed phrase at home, that alone would be enough to clean out your wallets. The obvious downside of storing your cold wallet seed phrase in 1Password is, however, that you must input it on a device that is connected to the internet. Once your seed phrase is stored at 1Password, it gets encrypted using a combination of your master password and the 128-bit secret key you received in a PDF file during the account creation process, and even 1Password cannot access or decrypt the contents of your vault anymore. That's why for those that don't have access to a secure deposit box at their bank, or at least a safe at home, I consider this the safest way to store your seed phrases, especially as mentioned if you use an email alias in combination with a complex password and don't write down the email or password on the sheet of paper that contains the secret key to your 1Password account. The upside, however, in my opinion, is that since you're then already paying a few dollars per month for your 1Password account, you also get to benefit from all the other great features that 1Password has to offer to increase security across all your online accounts by using unique, randomly generated passwords for each service without having to remember all of them. There are obviously other password managers out there as well, but personally, after testing KeePass, LastPass, and a few others over the years, I consider 1Password the best among them, but since this video isn't about password managers, I leave it up to you to compare the different options yourself. And that is already everything from my side for today. Again, if there's one thing you should take away from this video, it is to never share your passphrase and store it securely. That said, let me know which wallets you are using, how you make sure your seed phrase stays secure, and as always, feel free to ask any questions you might have in the comments below, or even better, use the link in the video description down below to join our community on Discord and discuss crypto projects and other topics with me and the community there. Thanks for watching, see you in one of my other videos, till then, bye bye!